All right, back to one of the top stories of the day. The jury finding a former Guantanamo Bay detainee guilty of just one count, not guilty on hundreds of others, including murder and attempted murder. Prosecutors say Ahmed Galani conspired to the bombings of the U.S. Embassy in 1998, the ones in Kenya and Tanzania. The attacks killed more than 200 people. But the jury did not hear the testimony from a key witness because the judge ruled investigators got that evidence or got that information only through torture, which is illegal. So let's get to the judge. With us now, the Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Part of this was there was an argument where you could have admitted this evidence if you had done this in a military tribunal and not in civilian courts.
The military tribunal prohibits torture by name, but it doesn't prohibit someone from overhearing what the tortured person said, tell a military tribunal what it heard.
Right.
So effectively, it does let it get in. The government knew this when it brought the case to a federal district court. The government knew that it had evidence obtained by torture. It tried to pull a fast one on the court. It said, you know what? The Fifth Amendment prohibits people from being forced to testify against themselves. It doesn't prohibit people from being forced to testify against others. The court laughed that argument out of court, heard testimony of the torture. The court closed the courtroom, so we don't know how horrific the torture was. The judge is a conservative Republican Reagan appointee who said, the law does not permit this, and this guy, the witness, is not going to testify because his testimony is unworthy of belief, because he said what he thinks you wanted him to say so you'd stop torturing him. We haven't permitted torture in federal courts in this country since we kicked the British out in 1779.
We've prosecuted people for torture.
Yes.
Torture has always been illegal.
Yes.
We have treaties that say it is. We do not torture. And the thinking is that way you can't torture our prisoners either.
Correct.
We won't torture, you don't torture. That's it.
It
now
doesn't
we're breaking
always,
our own rules.
It doesn't always work that way.
I know, but
we do commit crimes, federal crimes, when members of the government who've taken an oath to uphold the Constitution and the laws violate those laws by torturing or looking the other way while someone else does the torture.
The government can't be the only one allowed to violate its own laws.
Oh, I wish that were the case.
But isn't that the theory?
That is the theory.
All right. Well, speaking of theories, let's move on to touching your junk.
Right.
This photograph, and I know you guys have it, this photograph from the guy at the denverpost.com tells us just about what this story is about. If this were to happen in public, what is this?
Well, that's a crime being committed no matter who is doing it. That is a sexual assault. That is touching someone's personal, private, sexual parts against that person's will, either for the gratification of the person doing the touching, or the humiliation and control of the person being touched. The control. The statute prohibits it. Look at that one. There's no exception in the statute for government actors, whether it's the janitor, a school teacher, a father to a parent, a rapist to a person being raped, or a TSA agent. It's a crime.
All right. We take our shoes off now because the shoe bomber tried to blow up a plane with shoes. That was okay with us. We went along. We now submit to junk touching and breast padding because an underwear bomber tried to bring PET in his underwear. Forget just for a moment that 1 gram of PET would probably not be felt through the gloves, through the jeans, through the underwear. Forget that for a moment and think of what happens if the next one who tries to do this puts the PET in his rectum.
You can imagine.
Now wait. What happens then? Do we then move the line to allow full body cavity searches? And if you say, Shep, that's crazy, wouldn't a full body touch, including the groin and underneath the breast of your 14-year-old daughter, have been unthinkable 1 year ago? I believe it would have.
Shep,
and it would still be a crime.
Freedom is not lost overnight. It's lost in slow increments, always with the same argument. Let us take your freedom and we will keep you safe. We end up neither safe nor free. Can we see the picture again of those guys using their hands?
10 seconds.
Is this the proper role of government in America today? It can't be.
Well, that's the picture. And this is where we are. And we the people will decide. If we the people decide, yes, we'll go that far, we have to think about what happens when a gram of PETN is found in the rectum of the next one who wants to test our system. Do we then allow that for our 13-year-old, 14-year-old daughters? Is this the country we want? You decide. You're the country. But it's something we should just think about. We shouldn't just walk in there blindly and say, oh, what are you going to do to me today? Right?
You're exactly right. On the day before Thanksgiving, millions of Americans at the business travel day of the year will neither do the porn nor the grope. What will the TSA do then?
I don't know, and you know, and I got to tell you, Judge, we're about to go to let's go to some breaking news in Florida. There's a car chase going on, and while I get information about this car chase, I want to tell you this. What were you saying? Sorry, I had a million things in my ear.
On Wednesday, November 24th, a week from yesterday, the day before Thanksgiving, the busiest travel day of the year, millions of Americans will decline both the porn, scan, and the grope. What will the TSA do then?
I don't know, and I feel badly for the TSA agents who showed up at work on a Monday and found out all of a sudden they were going to have to start touching people all over their bodies. Don't even tell me that the vast majority of them were pleased about that. Judge, thank you. This is WSVN Television. This is Ralph Rayburn in Sky Force 7, and we are watching, and you aren't looking live. There's a car chase happening. Thank goodness, something we can agree on. Car chases are interesting and they're bad. Don't run from police. You always get caught. I hope this does not end badly, but often they do.